I need this to be documented, okay? I was getting ready to film. God, you can't even hear me over this. This thing just turned on. Gizmo just turned on by himself. I must have, like, bumped it or something. But he turned on, and his eyes opened all the way, which he has not done since I found him in a Goodwill, like, 4 years ago. And he has not stopped doing this for, like, the past 10 minutes. If I go missing, it's Furby. If I go missing, it's Big Hasbro's fault, because this is what killed me. Everybody take a screenshot. You're going away. Alright, Furby's downstairs in a drawer where he can't hurt anybody anymore. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, or otherwise strange content. Today, I'm covering one of my favorite shows of all time, and that's The Twilight Zone. I've never covered an episode of The Twilight Zone on this channel ever, but Twilight Zone is the epitome of classic TV. Rod Serling is a personal inspiration of mine as far as script writing goes, and there's a reason I think most, if not every single one of us, has watched the original Twilight Zone. It just tells stories that kind of transcend the span of time, like episodes from, 1960 are still applicable in some capacity to the people living today, and I think that's really interesting. I hope to be able to cover multiple episodes of The Twilight Zone on this channel, but I'm going to start today with one that I find particularly interesting because of its correlation to a different show. So even though I never do spoilers on this channel, I would like to just say spoiler alert, not for The Twilight Zone, but for The Good Place. It'll make sense eventually. So yeah, if you haven't seen at least the first entire season of The Good Place, maybe come back to this video later, because I don't want to spoil that for you. That is another great show that you should be watching. Oh, and one more thing before we get into this episode. It goes without saying, this particular episode is from 1960. There's a couple of things that are very of its time. I'll briefly point those out when we get to them, but just so you're aware. And without any further ado, let's just get into it.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man.
I don't know if this is true, but I read somewhere, I really hope it's true, that Rod Serling, when he first wrote the intro for Twilight Zone, thought there were 5 dimensions. So he said there's a 6th dimension, and someone pointed out to him that there were not. And he was like, oh, there aren't 5? Aren't there 5? Which is adorable. I think Rod Serling was adorable.
Portrait of a man at work. The only work he's ever done.
So we start off this episode with this guy who is robbing a jewelry store.
He's tired now. Tired of running or wanting.
That narration almost makes me feel bad for him. He's a terrible person, so I will feel less bad for him later, but
But he calls himself Rocky, because that's the way his life has been.
you hear that and you're like, aw, poor bank robber. Jewelry store robber. Poor jewelry store robber. So this guy somehow outruns a cop car on foot. I would like to point out that the cops are shooting at him. And yeah, he's committing a crime, but like, they're shooting at him randomly, like as if to just murder him over a jewelry store theft. That's a little bit excessive. Like, he's climbing this fence and they just shoot him a bunch of times in the back. Like, you could easily just run up and grab him in that same amount of time. Cops.
For Rocky Valentine, it's just the beginning.
Rocky Valentine is such an old-timey name, isn't that? That's such an old-timey burglar's name.
Mr. Valentine.
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
My name is Pip. Can I help you?
Alright, so this guy shows up. I think most people can see where this is going.
Guy there. I need like a hole in the head.
I think you did just get a hole in the head, sir.
You had a slight accident.
Yeah, the cops accidentally shot him to death. That's what happened.
Let me clue you, fatso.
Whoa, that was uncalled for.
What, you like roulette, blackjack, poker, craps? And between the ages of 7 and 10, you were quite fond of Mumbledy-Peg.
He does know an awful lot about him. This is like Santa Claus levels of... Is he Santa Claus?
My job is to see to it that you get what you want.
Don't put me on, fatso.
Okay, again, stop saying that.
Let me do a job for you, right?
So Mr. Valentine is not very quick on the draw. Pun not intended, but there it is. Because he like pulls out a gun like he's gonna shoot this guy, and he's like not getting it, right? You get it, right? So he takes him back to this like gorgeous apartment.
Who's it belong to? Some phony politician?
Why, it belongs to you, Mr. Valentine.
And he's really just trying to break it to him slowly. Like, obviously, he died, and now this is his afterlife, right? Like, he's not getting there.
Yeah, I approve.
No, sir, I don't trust you one bit. Hang on, is that a girl with a big ass?
I get it. You're just a goon, huh? You work for somebody else, right?
In a way, yes.
You could definitely say that, sir.
All right, goon.
I like that he just unironically calls him a goon. To be fair to him, this guy is not, like, explaining or communicating very well to him. And this is a very, traumatic thing at the end of the day, you know, to be dead and all.
I can't tell you more than I have, honestly.
So this guy could be a little better at his job, in all fairness.
Well, now we have quite a wide selection of ties here, and I believe that yellow is your favorite color.
Oh, he picked out a yellow tie. I love yellow ties.
What's the matter with you? You got no taste?
Ugh. If he wasn't already, like, a super scummy person, I'd hate him just for not picking the yellow tie.
You eat it.
But I don't eat. I haven't eaten in... it must be 2 or 3 centuries.
Wait, angels don't get to eat? That sucks. Being an angel, you should at least get to eat. You mean they don't get barbecue? I don't know why barbecue is the first type of food that came to my mind. Well, I do. It's because I'm from the South, but, like, still, barbecue is pretty baller. They don't get barbecue? That's lame.
Give a guy some new clothes and a bath and then poison him, huh?
Yeah, that would be a really dumb plan. Like, that would be a really expensive way to kill somebody. That would be just dumb. That's obviously not what's going on. So he tries to shoot him. It's not working. And he finally starts to get it that this guy might not be human.
Do you remember when we met earlier today and you said you needed a guy like a hole in the head?
Yeah?
Well, as a matter of strict fact, you had a hole in the head only a short time before.
I was right. He did get a hole in the head.
I must be dead.
Yeah, you got it.
Then I must be in heaven.
So now that he's finally gotten to this point, he realizes that he can have anything he wants. So the suspicion is dropped.
$1 million and a chick that won't quit. I mean, it's like stacked.
Very classy. Yes, I know what you mean. You remember when I said some of this is very of its time? I mean, he's not exactly a good person, so I don't think the thesis is that this is how respectable people talk about women, but still. So he puts on a vinyl and his swanky brand new record player, and there's a girl who
Now I know I'm in heaven.
can dance, I guess. I'm not judging. I'm a terrible dancer. I wouldn't know good dancing if I saw it.
33 black.
So he's hanging out at the big casino in the sky, I guess, and, you know, he's having a grand old time. Everybody's heaven is different, probably, but can you imagine? I can't imagine heaven being anything like Vegas. Like, no offense, but Vegas just isn't my scene.
Rocky is hot tonight, am I right, dolls?
But it's this guy's scene, and he's loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What makes what, huh? 40 grand in an hour.
So I just checked. In 1960, 40 grand was worth roughly $376,000. So, you know, I would take, 40 grand in today's money, but he's really cleaning up.
Here, baby, you'll give me some juice.
I just pictured her coming back with, like, a juicy juice box.
Look at it! Look at it! There must be $600 there! How about the fats? Hey, sweetheart, go buy yourself a dress for free.
Yes, a single dress. Those cost about $600 in 1960s money. I also was gonna make a snide comment about how, girls would only want new dresses. But I bought this dress immediately after I got money from my past birthday. So, she seems happy.
There must be $600 there!
Yeah, $600 in 1960 was like over $5,000. Rounded up, it would be $6,000. So, yeah, I know you just tuned into this video to listen to me convert money for inflation to 1960. But anyway, let's keep going.
Something bothering you, Mr. Valentine?
Yeah, him.
Oh, yeah, and then there's this part where he sees a cop and he gets upset. Not even really because the guy's a cop, but just because the cop is taller than him. And the spiritual guide decides in turn to turn the cop into a little person. You remember when I said that this had a couple of parts that were very of its time? Yeah, that's one of the weirder choices that they made. But moving on. It's really messed up. What the hell? So they get back to his apartment. I want to point out that the girls just have bags that just say the casino, which is funny to me for some reason.
Hey, girls, would you wait in here for a minute? I want to talk to Fats for a minute, all right?
And he keeps objectifying women, but before he continues to objectify women, he has a question for his guide.
How about tomorrow we look up some of my old buddies, huh? Like Matt Gorman and Fink Mitchell.
So he wants to go visit some of his friends, his old, burglar buddies. The Burglar Buddies. Burglar Buddies would be a good name for a band. Anyway, he's told that he can't do that because he's existing in his, own private heaven.
Well, it's your own private domain.
Oh, well, what about them? You mean they're props, like in a movie?
In a sense, yes.
I mean, you weren't really treating them like more than props, were you? Also, we're not going to talk about the fact that they just have celestial extras, I guess. Very strange.
How come they let me in here, huh?
So he's starting to wonder how exactly he got here, right? Because, he's a burglar. He's a criminal. He's kind of fucked over people for a living.
I thought this was only for, school teachers and like that.
Oh, we have some school teachers here.
Yeah, well, it must have been something real good I'd done sometime. But what?
It's a bad sign that he can't think of one good thing he's ever done.
Hey, dolls, don't go away, will you? I'll be right back. I just want to get something cleared up with Fats.
Charming. Anyway, he has his guide take him to the Hall of Records so that he can find his file.
Henry Francis Valentine.
I like how basic the Hall of Records set is. They really get creative on this show specifically, considering at this point in the series, I don't think they had a horribly big budget. And also, this is from 1960. So, TV's definitely come a long way. I find the way that they made old TV and movies fascinating.
Age of 6, slaughtered small dog.
Oh God, I really hate this guy. Screw this guy.
Age of 8, organized street gang, the Angels.
So he hasn't done anything good. He just sucks.
I can't figure it.
His whole life is in that one record? That's kind of depressing. So he can't figure out this whole conundrum, but he's like, I'm here, it doesn't really matter. Goes back to living his life. Or afterlife. Anyway.
13 black. What about your chips, sir?
Nail him to me.
Yeah, apparently gambling isn't very fun in your own personal heaven because you just win all the time. Also, side note, that lottery machine I'm pretty sure is the exact same one that they use in a either previous or future episode. I can't remember what order these all came out in. But I'm pretty sure that's a prop from a different episode, which is also very strange, so maybe I'll cover that one in the future.
Yeah, I know. That's all I ever do in this nutty joint is win, win, win.
Must be terrible.
Get out of here, will you? I'm sick of looking at you.
Harsh.
Ow, dumb broads.
Jesus, take it easy. Hey, his table turned into a pool table. Well, that's no fun. I feel like somebody needs to change the setting to hard mode on his pool table. Also, the old school effects of how they edited them. The balls just kind of disappear. Bless. I like that he told him how to dial his number, and there's only one number that can be dialed on the phone, and it's his.
Yes, Mr. Valentine, what can I do for you?
Will you stop creeping around?
He is very much in the personal bubble.
Right, something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. Everything is just peachy.
So this guy freaks out. He's like, I'm too happy. I'm bored of being happy.
I mean, there's no excitement around here, no kicks.
No, you can find those on Route 66. Sorry. Anyway.
Well, there's a nice bank at the corner that you could rob, or would you prefer a jewelry store?
Yeah, like a recreational bank robbery.
Is there a chance that I could get caught?
Well, of course, if that's what you'd like. Let me just make a note of it.
I mean, I feel like there should be some kind of random generator in the system that they have. It's the least they can do.
I don't know how to explain this, but it just ain't the same thing.
So this guy's going out of his mind. He's bored. He knows that nothing's real. He wants something authentic again.
I don't think I belong here. I don't think I fit in.
And he starts to confess that, look, I really don't belong here, I don't belong here in the good place, and I don't want to be here anymore.
I don't belong in heaven, see? I want to go to the other place.
You guys ready? You guys ready for the big Twilight Zone twist ending?
Whatever gave you the idea you were in heaven, Mr. Valentine? This is the other place.
Dun dun dun. I love that guy's maniacal laugh. It's wonderful.
This is the other place.
Also the fact that they couldn't say hell. They said heaven and the other place. It's very 1960s TV of them.
Now he has everything he's ever wanted. And he's going to have to live with it for eternity.
But yeah, that's the twist end. Isn't that great?
Rod Serling, the creator of Twilight Zone, will tell you about next week's story after this word from our alternate sponsor.
Oh, I forgot that my copy had this. These bumpers that aired in the original whatever, with Rod Serling telling you about the episode that would air the week after that.
This is designed for those of you who are getting too much sleep.
Oh, no, Mr. Serling, that's not me. I definitely don't get too much sleep. But anyway, yeah, that's the end. And one, I have always loved that episode. But two, this is why I gave the spoiler warning. Fans of The Good Place will know, spoiler warning, that twist is pretty much the exact same, with a couple of small caveats, as the season 1 finale that, like, shook everybody of The Good Place.
This is the bad place.
I don't know if this episode of The Twilight Zone is a direct influence or inspiration for The Good Place. It could just be a coincidence. But I love how similar those two things are, because I love The Good Place, I love Twilight Zone. Two of my favorite shows. And it feels like they've kind of almost crossed over. And it's also just wonderful because, one, I've always felt that The Good Place is already ahead of its time. In its themes, in its structure, in everything. And the fact that Rod Serling was thinking up similar things over 60 years ago just shows how far ahead of his time Rod Serling was. And I don't know, I nerd out about this all the time. I absolutely love talking about the Twilight Zone, particularly episodes like this. I could talk about it all day. So, if you guys like this video, if you want me to talk about more episodes of The Twilight Zone, I would be absolutely thrilled to do that. Feel free to leave suggestions of other Twilight Zone episodes that you might want to see in the future. But until next time, I'm going to leave it right here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Everything you do to support this channel means the world to me. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Bye! Alright, I don't see Furby anywhere, so I think I lived. Hope I'm not speaking too soon. Furby?